Okay, Matt, while you were out due to that very unfortunate accident, we learned 4 formulas. The first one is for arithmetic sequences. I'm writing with my finger here, I hope it's clear. The formula is a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Here's an example of where you would use this formula. Let's say you have a sequence that goes like this. 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, you can probably see that this is arithmetic because we're going up by 2 every time. The 2 is the d, the difference. A sub 1 would be the first term. In this case, it's 3. A typical problem with something like this would be find a sub 50. That means find the 50th term. Well, you're not going to sit there and write out all the terms going up by 2's. So that's where you use this formula for. A sub 50 equals, using the formula, you put a sub 1, which is 3, plus n minus 1 means this number minus 1. That's your n. So in this case, it would be 49, because it would be 50 minus 1, times the difference 2. And let's see, oops, I should have put a 2 there. This, I don't have a calculator on me, but whatever number that comes out to be from your calculator, that would be the 50th term without having to write them all out. The other formula related to arithmetic sequences that we learned, let me just see how I put it in a new slide here. Okay, is, well, actually this one is for arithmetic series. And this is for when you want to take something like the sequence you had before, 3, 5, 7, and so on. But instead of just naming the terms, you actually want to add them all up. So let's say I wanted to add up the first 50 terms of this sequence. That would be S sub 50. The formula we use here is S of n equals n over 2 times a1 plus an. This means if I want the sum of the first 50 terms, my n is 50. My a1 is 3. And an in this case is a 50, the 50th term. Which in order to get that, since you don't have it, you have to use the formula we had before. So once again, a sub 50 equals a1 plus n minus 1, which is 49, times d, which is 2. Let's see if I can do this in my head. 100 minus 298 plus 3 is 101. I'm getting 101 is the 50th term. So that's the last term of what we want to add. So basically, the way this formula works is you always need to know how many terms you're adding. We said S of 50, so 50 terms that we're adding. You need to know the first term of the series, that's the 3, and you need to know the last term of the ones that you're adding. And if you don't know that one, you have to find it using the other formula. So in this case, the sum of the 50 terms is 50 over 2 times a1, which is 3, plus an, which is 101. And that's going to be 25 times 104. And whatever that number comes out to be. I'm not going to do it in my head right now because it'll be a 10-minute video. Okay, those are the 2 formulas we learned for arithmetic sequences and series. Then we learned another 2 formulas. How did I do in this slide? Okay, geometric sequences. Okay, the formula here corresponds to a sequence that looks something like this. 3, 6, 12, 24. Okay, if you see what I'm doing here is every time I'm going up, I'm multiplying by 2. That's what makes it geometric. When to get from one term to the next, you always multiply by the same number. So, first of all, we have an nth term formula. A sub n equals A1 times r to the n minus 1. In this case, A1 is the first term. R is that number that you multiply by every time. So in this case, R would be 2. Same type of example. Let's say I wanted to find, I don't know, the 10th term, so A sub 10. What I would do is I would take A sub 1, which is 3, multiplied by R, which is 2, to the n minus 1. Well, once again, n is this number, so in this case it's 10. N minus 1 is going to be 9. So it's going to be 3 times 2 to the 9th, whatever number that comes out to be. Use your calculator. Okay, and the final formula that we learned is for geometric series. So here we go, geometric series. And it's for when we have the numbers that you just saw, 3, 6, 12, 24, but we are adding them instead of just listing them. Let's say I wanted here the sum of the first 10 terms. Well, this is probably the most complicated formula of all of them. It's S of n equals a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. You still need to know only 3 things in order to use this formula. The first term, the number you're multiplying by every time, and how many terms you want to add. You don't need to know the last term like you did with arithmetic series. So let's say we wanted to add the first 10 terms. I don't have to list all 10 terms. I just take my A1, which is 3, times 1 minus, in this case, r is again 2. I'm multiplying by 2 every time. 2 to the n is 10, because I want 10 terms, all over 1 minus 2. And when you put this in your calculator, you put it exactly with the parentheses you see, and that'll tell you what the first 10 terms add up to. This is pretty much everything that you missed, Matt. I hope you write the formulas down and try the homework on Edmodo.